accent, oh, is that just sloppy handwriting? I thought it was an accent on the second N. And my Spanish class I took in 8th grade would tell me I had to give it a yeah there, so.
I think you're going to remember me. Latino Action Network, I'm going to try to go fast.
3 minutes start now.
Land is proud to express strong support for Assembly Bill 470, the Privacy Protection Act. This legislation responds to a crisis that our communities have long been living with for years. The fear of personal information shared with government agencies or health care providers could be misused, disclosed, weaponized against vulnerable individuals and families. This bill recognizes that a simple but powerful truth reflected in legislative findings, that people have a fundamental privacy interest in how their data is collected, shared, and used. And when that privacy is not protected, individuals may avoid the very services as we've just been listening to and we know to be a fact. Healthcare, public benefits, legal protections that keep them safe and healthy. For these immigrants and mixed status families, this fear is especially acute. 4070 takes meaningful steps to address this crisis. It prohibits government entities and healthcare facilities from collecting immigration status, citizenship, place of birth, social security numbers, or ITINs unless absolutely necessary to administer service or ensure safe medical care. It ensures the sensitive information collected for these purposes is not subject to OPRA, cannot be disclosed without consent, and cannot be shared with law enforcement absent a judicial warrant or court order. It also places strong limits on the sharing of automated license plate reader data, an increasingly powerful surveillance tool that has too often been used without transparency or accountability. These protections are not abstract. They are essential in restoring trust, ensuring access to care, preventing discrimination, to help ensure that no one in New Jersey is forced to choose between safety and their privacy. At the same time, we know this legislation of this scope must be crafted with care again. LAND looks forward to working closely with bill sponsors to ensure that the final version of this act fully meets the needs of our communities in this moment of crisis, especially those most vulnerable. Thank you again for hearing me.
Ms. Cuqui, would you be available to questions? You're not under any obligation, but Mr. Kanicha.
I'll be nice, I promise.
Okay, okay.
I will be incredibly nice. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. I commend you, for your detail-oriented testimony and for having the guts to come up here and for having the guts to take questions. And I listened to your testimony, and one of the things that you said in your testimony was that the information that this bill tackles could be misused and weaponized, correct?
Yes, I did.
And the information in this bill is social security numbers, immigration status, other personal data. When you said misused and weaponized, what did you mean? How did you think it could be misused and weaponized?
If I'm in a hospital and I'm laid out in a bed, what does that have to do with immigration? That's healthcare. I'm a mother. I have many children. I have many more grandchildren. I would not want them to be terrified that way. I've listened to children left alone in the streets in cars screaming their heads off. That's terror. I don't know how else to say that.
Totally understood. And when you say terrified, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm assuming that you mean terrified that you would be deported. Is that fair to say?
No, terrorized, period. Terrorized. That's, for me, as a parent, as someone who is a resident, who is a citizen, who is a mother, who is an advocate, it's criminal to me to watch this kind of.
How would you be terrorized by law enforcement if they knew if they knew someone's immigration status other than potentially being deported? Because to me, Cuqui, this legislation seems like it is meant to take all the identifiable information that could be used to send back people who are here illegally, and to block them and to keep them from being sent back. And that's what I take misused and weaponized to be. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that that any of the people who are here of the, let's say the 900,000 that are here illegally, do you think any of them should be sent back if they don't have a criminal background other than coming here illegally or overstaying a visa or doing anything like that?
Okay, I don't want you to get mad at me.
I won't.
Okay, but when people are going to the immigration office to fix their stuff legally the way they're supposed to, and they're being pulled out of the hallways and courtrooms, how does that work? How does that work when they're trying to follow due process and go in there? And I don't know if that's even part of this particular bill, or the maps are part of this particular bill. We're talking about privacy. But that's how it's weaponized, in my opinion.
And totally understood and appreciated, and obviously you and I have different, different thought processes on this, and I think, you know, in my perspective, obviously, trying to fix something after the fact is different, you believe different, and I appreciate you answering my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy Cuqui. That's it, you're, maybe.
Thank you again, Oliver. Thank you for being respectful.
You should come testify on everything that everybody wants to make it, promote some sympathy.